and welcome to the first episode of Rational Talks. This is your host Soumya Vrat. Today I'm joined with my colleague Utkarsh Kaushik as well. In this episode, we are going to talk about the Northeast India in detail. We are pleased to welcome Dr. Deep Moni Gogoi, who is an assistant professor at Amity School of Communication, and Dr. Ugen Bhutia, who is an assistant professor at SRM University, Andhra Pradesh. Dr. Deep Gogoi has done his PhD in media studies, and Dr. Bhutia has a PhD in media and politics. So today our topic is the Northeast India. Without much ado, I directly get into it. Sir, why do you think the mainstream media often ignores or does not acknowledge the northeastern states?
Uh, can I speak?
Yes,
Sure, sir.
Oh, okay. So,
yes.
see, basically, the point is, it's not that mainstream media, so-called mainstream media, do not acknowledge or completely ignores Northeast. It is not like that. It covers Northeast, but the question is on what way and from what perspective does it covers the Northeast. Of course, many of the times, those events that occurs within this so-called mainstream India gets to the news, and most of the events that happens in other parts of the country, not just Northeast, but also in other parts in South or maybe any other region, are not covered in the mainstream media, right? But the point
Right.
is, the difference is the perspective, the way they cover the Northeast. Uh, uh, Let me give you an example. Dr. Deepmani Gogoi is here. A few years back, there was an incident where police lathi charge on the protesters in Sikkim. This happened in Sikkim. This was reported 1 week later in one of the national news channel, and it was
Right.
reported as breaking news. So, and
Hmm.
even that happened a week earlier in Sikkim becomes a breaking news in in mainstream media. Mainstream media, whether you're talking about entertainment media or whether you're talking about music industry or you are talking about the news industry, they also have this certain kind of Orientalist perspective. Okay, for those who don't know what Orientalist perspective is, Professor Edward Said has written a book called Orientalism, in which he
Right.
tries to explain that how Europeans, when they went outside of Europe and started colonizing other region, they also tried to create a knowledge about that region, because that knowledge also gives you power to control the society, right? So they were also trying to
Absolutely.
control. They were also trying to control those societies, but they were not allowing those people whom they were representing to come forward and represent themselves. Are you getting the point? So Europeans were
Right.
not
Right.
allowing Indians or any people, any tribe from Africa or Americas to represent themselves. Rather, Europeans represented them, okay, represented these areas for them. And of course, because it was the Europeans, someone else who was doing the representation part, so it was misrepresented a lot. You know? Similar thing has happened in Northeast too. Okay, so in simple sense, Orientalism is also the politics of representation. Okay, one example of this today you can see is that the movie on Mary Kom, movie
Right.
on Mary Kom. The story was about Mary Kom, but who played it?
Priyanka Chopra.
Uh,
Priyanka Chopra.
uh, Priyanka Chopra, right? Thank you.
Yes.
Priyanka Chopra played the movie. See, I mean, you are trying to make a movie, someone from the Northeast, Manipur, but you are not allowing someone from there to represent themselves. Mary Kom is not an actor. We can agree to that. But are there no any other actor, right? So,
Absolutely.
so the question is also in what perspective. For example, you might see whenever Northeast is represented, it is only represented in few categories. One is violence. Okay, so there is lots of ethnic violence, lots of secessionist violence, and
Yes.
there is also exotic, something very exotic, something very beautiful. So North is not considered, or the region around the Northeast in the within Northeast is not represented as it is. Okay, so it becomes
Hmm.
beautiful. Just like Sam, when you introduced us, you said a very beautiful place called Sikkim, a very beautiful place called Assam, right? So
Yes, sir.
for you, it becomes important to say that it is beautiful.
Right, right.
So this is also kind of an Orientalist, and you either make very beautiful, and then or make very bad kind of thing. You don't give a proper representation to the place. And last important point is, I mean, this is, I mean, have been said in many forums by many people, many individuals, that Northeast is not one single unit. Northeast is actually a very diverse region, and there is every possibility that a person from Assam might not have any information about the culture, about the identity, about the tradition of person from Sikkim, and vice versa, among all
Absolutely.
the 8 states. So these are
Yes.
the, I mean, few things that I just wanted to.
Great, sir. Dr. Deep Gogoi, would you like to add on to something?
Yes, means actually from where means Ugain had left, I'd like to means reiterate the same point. Actually, when we say this word Northeast itself, Northeast is actually it's not one single unit. Okay, when we talk about Northeast, Northeast actually represent 8 states. Okay, so it consists of the state of Assam, then Meghalaya. I think all of you know about the latest entrant into the whole Northeast is
Yes.
Sikkim. Okay, so
Sikkim.
Sikkim is also one of
Yes.
the states. So then one of the like when we say just as Ugain pointed out, I have to actually say the same thing, that it is actually represented, but then how it is represented. Okay, so when it is mostly violence, or mostly when there is violence that we come across, means anything that has to do with Northeast. Okay, so I mean, one more incident I remember, how there is a lack of understanding in the region. Okay, so means Ugain only had got a call from a national news channel when Hima Das, actually she won some award, okay, some sports award. When Hima Das won that award, means Ugain got a call saying that he will know Hima Das and her achievement and her place just because he belongs to the Northeast. Okay, so this
Hmm.
whole Northeast as a place is looked upon only as one single unit, which is, and I mean, there is this whole image of that all the states in the Northeast have like understand each other. So Northeast is actually a complex land in terms of the number of ethnic communities that reside here, but then it is not presented in its own complexities. Okay, but then it is presented as one unit, and then whenever there's some incident happen, it means even the media, the so-called national media, is not able to explain what exactly is the conflict all about. Okay, for example, even when we think of the recent protests that happened in Assam, the CA protest.
Yes.
Okay, so even
Yes.
those protests were actually not able to be, like, the media was not able to explain it to the people, like what is the context, what is an Assam Accord. Okay, so all these details were actually not able to be explained to the general reader by the national media. And also, whenever there is a conflict, one of the reason I think the media is not able to explain is also because whenever there is a conflict, there is this parachute landing of journalists from Delhi. Okay, so
Hmm.
there was a time means when we talk to like many people, even our means teachers, when we talk to them, we often come across that how the national media used to maintain a correspondent from the Northeast who will be able to understand Northeast. I think you are also aware how recently the Sudhir Chaudhary, okay, who runs a show called DNA, he actually out with a tweet saying he actually confuses the capital of one of the northeastern states.
Yes.
Okay, so there is this whole
Yes.
thing of like not understanding northeast in it. So they think that it is like, okay, so this whole parachute landing is also one of the problem, and this whole idea of this cost cutting of journalists. Okay, like it means even now many other important departments of a newspapers are also being shut down. For example, we don't have a rural affairs editor now. Okay, Hindu used to have that, and many other newspapers used to have correspondents in different parts. So in the wake of lack of correspondence in the Northeast also, what we find is that the people who come on when there's some violence or some spectacle is happening, so these journalists are actually not able to explain the context. It means even when they are reporting only violence, okay, when the context is not set right. Okay, so yeah, it means the point that actually means again point out, and I had means written means about it, how a news becomes a breaking news after seven days. Okay, so means in this age of technology, like we get to know what is happening means at a fraction of seconds. Okay, we get to know everything. But then when it comes to the Northeast, a stale news of 7 days back becomes the breaking news, and we're not complaining basically. Okay, so that's basically my point. So we have this, and also there's one more angle when we talk about the Northeast and why it is not reported is also the political economy point of view. Okay, so we have to understand that when we talk about Northeast, that most of this means English language newspapers, if we talk about newspaper or the media, they look at their own audience. Okay, so these audiences are actually their constituencies, okay, like whom they should be catering to. Okay, so they don't see Northeast as the potential of potential consumers of their news. Okay, so they basically are more concerned with catering to the needs of maybe a reader from Calcutta, maybe, or Chennai, or maybe Delhi and Mumbai. Okay, so they will be actually concerned more about the viewers there. Okay, so that is another angle. It's actually also has to do.
So isn't the same thing actually increasing the differences in a major way? The more the national media actually excludes the Northeast by thinking that they are not direct consumers of it, the more the Northeasterns themselves are not considering themselves to be a part of India. Do you think it is happening in a fashion which is similar to what I just pointed out?
For me, I don't think so, because of course I agree to the point that there is a consciousness regarding your own representation. Okay, but then we also, for example, people might question Americans becomes one example, and there are other movies also where someone from Sikkim is represented as a drunkard, someone from Assam is represented in one particular way or that particular way. People starts complaining about that I mean, we are not represented well, or we are always represented in this way. But it has not reached to that level that people will feel segregated from the idea of nation. Is that what you are saying? Or Indian society, just because media is rejecting to represent them. Okay. Again, the point that I'm trying to make is, it's not that media represents completely blocks the representation of the Northeast, of people from the Northeast. But the point is to represent them in a very particular way, okay, in a very particular way, in which they remain the part of that Indian nation, Indian society, but on the periphery. Are you getting the point? Northeasterners or Northeast are never brought into the mainstream. They are always kept in the periphery. So in that sense, I agree to you. Whether, I mean, someone from the Northeast, after looking at these movies or reporting, will they feel themselves as a mainstream Indian? Of course, they are not going to feel that way, because media is not representing in that way. And it is not just the media, and it is within media also. It is not just news media. Also, I mean, many other areas are there that we can look at. For example, policies also, policies of the government, right? So all these things are there. So maybe Deep has to add something to that.
Yes, I agree with again what he has to point out. Like, I don't think that that the people of Northeast don't feel like part of the whole mainstream. But then, what are we talking about as mainstream? There is no mainstream actually. There should not be any mainstream. So that is also another concept. Like there is no concept of mainstream. When we talk about the term Northeast itself, I was just trying to point out that, like, Northeast of which place? Okay, we are talking basically about Northeast from Delhi. Okay, so where we are already considering the Delhi to be the center, and then the Northeast to be some kind of a periphery, northeast of Delhi. So Delhi becomes the center of everything. Okay, so we are actually already, when we are using those terminologies, we have to be like a little careful. But then since we have been using, and it has become more convenient, I think, to use some of these terms, and which also makes us like understand some concepts better now. Okay, and we have been used to like using this, but then we have to actually continuously question, like, what exactly is this Northeast, and what exactly this periphery also is all about. So yeah, that is exactly my point. Okay, but
So
then we have to
talking about
look into
the
how.
relationship
Yeah.
of
Yes.
the Northeast with the entire country, uh,
Mm.
there is also a lot of racism faced by the Northeasterns. They're called Chinese, Chingy, and other insensitive things that are probably way too uh, offensive for you. So is there a feeling of hatred towards such acts? And if so, does that actually make you feel even more excluded from the country?
Okay, means if yeah, means Ugen can take it. Otherwise, I can also take it. Yes.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay, so when we talk about this whole concept of like northeasterner, okay, and means they often come across some kind of racial slurs, we have to also understand that why does it basically happens. Okay, so there may be many different type of calls. One is that the northeast is being means stereotype, and sometimes they are not understood. Okay, so when you don't understand somebody, there is this concept I think which is used in social sciences. We call it the concept of othering. Okay, where we think
Right.
that they do not belong to us. Okay, and we human being actually functions something like that. We our brain functions like that, where we always have this habit of simplifying concepts. Okay, like okay, so these are the kind of people and they have certain kind of traits. Okay, we simplify things in a certain way, which we do to means in order to make sense of the world. Okay, and which may not be always negative. Okay, like we do stereotype sometimes, but then stereotype becomes a problem when we reduce a particular community to uh, only certain kind of characteristic traits. Okay, and we think that these are the traits. Like for example, when we mention of an Assamese, like if I'm an Assamese or I belong to the Northeast, there will be certain means attributes which will be given to the Northeasterner. Okay, they have this, they eat, they have a different kind of cuisine, or they eat some smelly food or some kind of food. Okay, so
Hmm.
all these are ideas that are there, and basically the concept which actually is problematic is that they do not belong to us. Okay, that might be the feeling, and which is also I think the concept of othering. Okay, like they do not belong to us. Okay, so that is a problem. Okay, so and I think which happens because there is a lack of understanding, and also there is this whole absence of the northeastern person in the means imagination of the people. Okay, which I think happens because there is I think the absence of a northeasterner in the whole uh, cultural scheme of things, where means a person from the so-called mainstream within quotes are not aware about a freedom fighter who is from the northeast. Okay, so just as we know about Raja Ram Mohan Roy from Bengal or many other freedom fighters from Bengal, we know freedom fighters from Maharashtra. Okay, so there is this whole collective thing that we actually fought for our own freedom. Okay, the whole freedom movement. But then when we look at northeastern side, we also have several people who have lost their lives and sacrifices were made from this part of uh, the country, but then their names are not means coming out and it's not getting reflected in the books. Okay, and means in all the textbook that we read, so which actually makes some form of means absence of that whole imagination of a northeastern person also forming that whole means Indian imagination. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, which actually
See,
plays a role, means according to me. Mhm.
yeah, I too agree with what Deep has just said, and to just extend that point again, I think we have to look at the racism against someone from the northeast in two different levels. In one level, it is a prejudice, right? Preconceived notion, and that is with everyone, no matter which race, no matter which region you belong to, which identity you belong to, right? For example, someone from the North India might have prejudice against South Indians, so-called South Indians, just like they have against so-called Northeast Indians, right? But there
Yes.
is a slight difference between the racism that is or the stereotype or prejudice against Northeast and the other region, and that is if you look at the comparison between the prejudice against the South and the Northeast, you can see South at least has its own resources to represent itself
Hmm.
through its cinema, through its media, I mean, we are talking about the media, right? Being a media
Right.
student, media becomes important for us, right? So
Right.
media, intellectually also, in academic also. So South is able to challenge that, whereas Northeast is not, because Northeast does not have that. I mean, some of the movies might come out from Guwahati, Assam, but other states, I mean, at least I don't know. I mean, one or two in 4 or 5 years might come out, but I don't think that they have, the industry that South have.
So the thing is that I personally believe that what happens in the rest of the country is that when they see anyone, first of all, they are not aware about all the states of Northeast. They don't really know how a person from Meghalaya is different from a person from Manipur, or how is he different from a person from Sikkim. They don't have the knowledge about the various cultures. Also, generally agar if you spot someone from northeast in the northern part of the country, uh, people will say that ye Assami hai, theek hai, he's an Assami. Because they really don't know about the different tribes. Plus, unfortunately, because of the current political scenario in the country, what's happening is that there's a lot of anti-China sentiment which is going on in the country. And now, when you don't know about a particular part of the country, plus growing sense of nationalism, both of them are combining into an extreme sort of hatred for the northeasterners, uh, because of the very reason which you brought up, is lack of awareness. So my question to you is, how are the northeastern states different from each other? Could you speak something about your culture, which a person who doesn't have any idea about the northeast, about Sikkim, about Assam, can actually relate to, and can actually feel that they are Indians as well, and can get out of the notion that they have some sort of an affinity with Chinese people, things which are generally over nationalized and over sensationalized by the media. Yes, sir. The question to both
Uh,
of you.
yeah, see, I can speak at least about Sikkim. Okay, so Sikkim till 1975 was a separate independent kingdom. Okay, in 75 it merged with Indian Union, or Indian Union annexed it, whatever perspective you want to look from. Okay, uh, but one interesting point about Sikkim is that never ever have there been a secessionist movement. People never ever protested. I mean protested in a sense in violent way or in a very large scale against the merger with Indian Union. Okay? Uh, but those who tries to look at Northeast from this violence insurgent perspective, they will completely misread Sikkimese society, because it has never happened in Sikkim. I get in the point that I am trying to make.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Today, if you go to one of the markets called as MG Mark, Mahatma Gandhi Mark, the name itself is Mahatma Gandhi, right? And you know that
Right,
Mahatma
right,
Gandhi is not just a personality, but also the figure of India itself, right?
right.
Personification of India, right? And there are actually two statues, and one was recently built, and one recently built statue has this full figure of Mahatma Gandhi, okay, walking. So that statue today in Sikkim is a tourist spot. People come there and take picture in front of that statue. And I'm not talking about a foreign tourist. I'm talking about Indian tourists. They have we have a statue of Mahatma Gandhi everywhere in India, but when they come to Sikkim,
Right.
that statue becomes the tourist attraction, and people like to take photo. So what I'm trying to tell you with this fact is that there is a kind of a complete acceptance of Indian nationality, Indian nationalism, right? Uh, which is little bit different from some of the experience that we have in other regions in Northeast, in Manipur, in some parts of Assam. So there are some differences among in terms of insurgency also. So Sikkim
Right.
actually have the complete absence of that.
Right, sir. Deep, sir.
Uh,
Yes, okay, but when we talk about this, means the question that you have posed just, it will also actually end up means stereotyping all the states. Okay, so I'll not try to talk about certain characteristics of Assam and then Sikkim and other states. Okay, so but then we have to understand that there are a total of 8 states in the Northeast. And when India got independence, it was the state of Assam. And then we had the Manipur and Tripura were the union territories. Okay, then means after some time, I think 1962, Nagaland became a separate state. Okay, in terms it became one of the other states of the Indian Union. Then also Meghalaya became a separate state. Then also Arunachal Pradesh also means carved out of Assam, and all of them got separate states. Okay, so means the point is that there is a lack of understanding. Like for example, many people get shocked that we also have some cities in the Northeast. Okay, means many people in Delhi where I stay. So people get like surprised when they see that there is a full-fledged beautiful city like Gangtok. Okay, and means it is something which is out of like people's imagination that Northeast also has cities. One more incident I'd like to like tell all of you is that I think means I was with Ugain and there was a few people, media people from I think from the south. Okay, then we were actually told to we were actually student. I think we were doing masters at the time. So some people we were in MPhil, I think. Okay, so 2 people from the south actually they are media person, and then they came to Sikkim and then they wanted to interview both of us, and the journalists were asking me again also certain questions, and they want to ask me many of the political things that were happening in Assam. So in order to shoot for Assam, like he needed a bite for himself. So he took me to some forest. Okay, in Sikkim, it's not like you will find a lot of trees. So I was not like aware. I was not even aware why he was taking me to some areas in which there will be a lot of trees. Okay, he took me to that place, and then he told me, okay, now you can do some walking, and then I'll have to basically give him some shot basically for his own news program. Okay, then he asked me a few questions, and I was like, but then the bamboo is required in the background. Okay, so I just wanted to point out how actually this image of Northeast is actually a constructed thing. Okay, so we have to understand that it is like when you come to Assam, many people actually think that Assam is a hilly state. Okay, they are not even aware that when they come, Assam is actually plain state. Okay, mostly it is plains, not as hilly like as Meghalaya or Sikkim. But then people have this notion, and this notion is actually created by the media persons also. Okay, just as I told you, I think again we'll remember that incident. Okay, so yes, that is how actually it is created. But then the solution is solution does not lie actually in bringing out characteristics of the states. All these northeastern states are like any other Indian states. They have their own problem. Like the politics which happens in Assam is very, very different from the kind of politics that we have in Sikkim. For example, if you go to Sikkim, Chamling was ruling for I think 25 years. Okay, so he was ruling for 25 years, like one chief minister. But if you come to Assam, we have a different scenario. We have the presence of a lot of we have the presence of Congress, and we have some regional parties. If you go to Nagaland, they have regional politics, and in Manipur the situation is very different, and in Arunachal also situation is different. So we have to understand Northeast in its own complexities. Like we have to treat all these entities as different, but then at the same time, like it is we should not be like characterizing them as Northeast and like how to bring out characteristics of each state. Okay, yes.
Hello guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, please like the video and share it. The second part of this podcast will be uploaded soon. Please subscribe to the channel and push the bell icon so you don't miss the video and other videos as well.